Hey, folks, welcome to Shooting Up North. I'm your host, Louis Carlin. We're heard right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching for the first time, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter at Shooting Up North, Instagram at Alliance PW Network, and feel free to join our Facebook group, the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. And don't forget, we have the official Shooting Up North 30-ounce stainless steel hot and cold tumbler. We've shipped out quite a few of these. If you want to get your hands on one of these, send me an email, alliancepwnetwork@gmail.com. That's alliancepwnetwork@gmail.com. And I'll send you all the details on how you can get your hands on one of these absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous Shooting Up North 30-ounce stainless steel hot and cold tumbler designed by Justin Donay. He did a great job. Again, Alliance pwnetwork@gmail.com. Send me that email, and I will send you all the details that you need to get your hands on one of these tumblers. Okay, so let's get into it. This is Impact Wrestling news and notes for August 2nd, 2022. I had Francesco Akira on, New Japan Pro Wrestling's Francesco Akira. The interview is now available on the YouTube channel. I interviewed him yesterday. He's a New Japan Pro Wrestling international star. He currently holds the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles with TJP. And I asked him a question because he recently defeated Speedball Mike Bailey, the current X Division champion, Speedball Mike Bailey. At the Best of the Super Juniors, he defeated then X Division champion Ace Austin. And so I posed a question to him because he's been talking about it. I asked him if he thinks he deserves an X Division title shot, and he absolutely thinks he deserves an X Division title shot. I mean, I think he deserves one too. He defeated the current X Division champion for Rev Pro in the UK. Of course, the X Division title naturally wasn't on the line, but a win is a win. He defeated the current X Division champion, and he wants an X Division title shot. And I asked him if he wants to come to Impact Wrestling. He said he definitely wants to come to Impact Wrestling, but he's got to work out some visa issues first. So I really think once he works out those visa issues, we're going to see Francesco Akira, who's an amazing talent. Francesco Akira is from Italy, a terrific Italian wrestler. He's the first Italian in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he's the first Italian to hold a New Japan Pro Wrestling title. And he's an incredible talent. And I've put him over so many times in the channel, and it was a pleasure having him on. This is the second time I interviewed him. Again, check out the interview; it's on the channel now. But he definitely wants to come to Impact Wrestling, and he definitely wants that X Division title shot. So hopefully, if you're watching, let's tag it. Let's get it going. Let's tag Francesco Akira deserves an X Division title shot. Let's get that trending on Twitter. Again, like I said, he has to work out some visa issues, as he mentioned in the interview. But I'm sure he's going to get that all worked out, and he's going to want an X Division title shot. And I think he definitely deserves one. I think Francesco Akira versus Speedball Mike Bailey for the X Division Championship in an Impact Wrestling ring would be absolutely fantastic. So hopefully we'll see Francesco Akira in Impact Wrestling very, very soon. AAW. They put out an interesting a video clip from, I guess, their last show, which was Eric Young. Eric Young indicating doing an interview that he's going to be bringing two AAW wrestlers to Impact Wrestling in Chicago for tryouts. He didn't indicate which AAW wrestlers that he was going to be bringing with him. But during that interview, the AAW heavyweight champion, Matt Fitchett, came out and indicated that he's going to be one of the talents that are going to be at the next Impact Wrestling in Chicago. It's going to be in Chicago. It's either going to be August 12th or August 13th. We're going to see. So Matt Fitchett said he's going to be defending the AAW Championship either August 12th or 13th against an opponent that Eric Young said that he is going to decide on. So Matt Fitchett will be defending the AAW title against an opponent named by Eric Young. And I was running down the AAW roster. Okay, I'm just waiting for, here we go. So I'm running down the AAW roster. They got some really good talents. in AAW. Granted, it's an independent promotion. They're actually situated in Chicago. And of course, Impact Wrestling is going to be in Chicago August 12th and 13th. So we can expect to see some AAW talent. But they have Braden Lee. Braden Lee, we've seen him in Impact Wrestling before. I think Matt Fitchett defending against Braden Lee would be a terrific showcase match. Davey Vega. Let me see some other indie talent. Jake Lander. Oh, Jake something. Josh Alexander. Also, it's not going to be Josh Alexander, of course. Mace Warner. Mace Warner. Well, actually, I think Mace Warner. I don't know if he signed with MLW, but I wouldn't mind. Mace Warner against Matt Fitchett in Impact Wrestling. But who else we got? Ren Jones, Rush Jones, Shaft, um, Steve Manders, Travis Titan, Xavier Walker. So there's quite a few indie stars wrestling right now for AEW, and with Matt Fitchett being one of the AEW stars. Of course, he's a champion that's going to be in Chicago for Emergence or Second City Slam on August 12th and 13th. We'll see who Eric Young decides. And here's what I think is going to happen. I think we're still going to have two AAW wrestlers coming in for tryouts, but I think I think Eric Young's going to choose himself because Matt Fitchett, Eric Young had a terrific match for AAW in the past, and Eric Young lost match was for the AAW Championship, and I think Eric Young's going to probably either pick himself or probably pick Dina or something. Like Dina needs to prove himself, but I do think Matt Fitch is going to be victorious, and I do think we're going to get two more AAW wrestlers. At Emergence or Second City Slam for a tryout match. So I think that's good. I think that's good. This is exactly what Impact Wrestling should be doing. They should be looking at definitely looking at some indie stars. Again, Braden Lee. Braden Lee is a terrific talent. I would definitely bring him back and see what he could do. He was with he had a match I think about a year ago for Impact, right? One or two matches. But I would bring Braden Lee back and let's see what he can do. But I think it's exactly what Impact Wrestling needs to do. They need to look for top indie talent. And I know everyone's going to be saying, no, Lewis, they need to bring in top names. Yes, of course, they need to bring in top names, but they also need to bring in any talent, future stars, guys and women that could be the absolute next big stars of Impact Wrestling. That's what they need to do as well. So I'm looking forward to this tryout match. And again, I hope it's Matt Fitchett against Eric Young, which would be great. And they bring in two other AEW wrestlers. There could be two women as well. I personally would bring in two. I would pick two men and I would pick two women for tryout matches in Chicago. Again, AEW, the one of the top promotions top indie promotions in the United States, and of course, it's the number one indie promotion in Chicago. I think it's safe to say that. And they put on terrific shows. Josh Alexander, as I mentioned, is on the roster. Eddie Kingston, Hakeem Zane, you'll see on there. Jake Something wrestles for them. Jody Threat. Oh my gosh, Jody Threat, dude. Dude, everybody, Impact Wrestling should bring Jody Threat in for a tryout match. 100%. Jody Threat is someone that they should absolutely sign. Jody Threat's an incredible talent. Incredible talent. I would love to see Jody Threat in Impact Wrestling. So hopefully we will see Jody Threat. And it's interesting how right after Jody Threat is his fellow Canadian Josh Alexander. So maybe Josh has a little pull there, and he can get a tryout for Jody Threat. And got my fingers crossed for that. I hope we see a few AAW wrestlers trying out. I think will be great. So once again, but we do know for sure that Matt Fitchett will be defending the AAW Heavyweight Championship in Chicago, either August 12th or 13th, against an opponent that Eric Young will be deciding on. Personally, I think it's going to be him, but we will see. Okay, so going from there, Taya Valkyrie. Taya Valkyrie wants to have intergender matches in Impact Wrestling and names potential opponents. So speaking with Give Me a Ho Yeah, Valkyrie was asked to name who she'd like to face now that she's back with Impact Wrestling. So here's what she had to say. Here's what she had to say. The roster has grown so much since the last time I was here. We have tons of new talented women coming in. I recently faced Masha Slamovich at Prestige. I love to face her again. Giselle Shaw, me and her wrestled in the UK prior to the pandemic. I'd love to face her again. And now we have Killer Kelly coming in, who I've never wrestled, who I'd love to face. There's just so many really fun new characters to play with. It's an exciting time. Valkyrie also noted that she wants to face stars like Chris Bay and Trey Miguel and intergender matches. And Valkyrie saying, I'd love to have some intergender matches because I haven't really touched on that within the world of Impact. I'm very good at it. I've done it for years on Lucha Underground and Lucha Libre, AAA. So yeah, I'd love to face Trey Miguel. I love to face Chris Bay. There's just an endless amount of people that I have not gotten in the ring with. It's a very exciting time. So Taya Valkyrie, in addition to wanting to face Killer Kelly, Giselle Shaw, and Masha Slamovich, would also like to face Chris Bay and Trey Miguel. As for intergender wrestling, I have nothing against it. I know some people don't like it, but Taya Valkyrie, I've seen her in a number of intergender matches, and they're normally really good. So I mean, if Taya Valkyrie wants to face Chris Bay or Trey Miguel, I think we would be in for a terrific match. So I'd be for it. I'd be for it if she wants to. Will it happen? I don't know. I know they've tried a few intergender matches with Jordan Grace and Matt Cardona, and of course Tessa Blanchard against Sammy Callahan, also against Ace Austin. So they've touched upon it in the past. Whether it's going to be a regular thing, I don't think it's going to be a regular thing ever in Impact Wrestling. But will we ever see it again? Probably. So I mean, if they book Trey Miguel against Ty Valkyrie, I'd be interested in seeing it. I'd be interested in seeing it, and I'll leave it at that. So once again, Ty Valkyrie looking to have intergender matches in Impact Wrestling, either against Chris Bay or Trey Miguel. Another match has been announced for Impact on Access for this Thursday. So not a match really going to look forward to, but it's going to serve a purpose. Sammy Callahan going on 1-on-1 against Raj Singh. Okay. We all know who's going to win that match. We all know what's going to happen when the match is over. Steve Macklin and Moose probably will interfere and attack Sammy Callahan, and that'll be that. So that's the purpose that this match is going to be serving. It's going to be probably a quick match. Callahan defeating Singh, and I'm sure we're going to see Moose and Steve Macklin interfering and attacking Sammy Callahan. What if, like, here's something interesting. Sammy Callahan and Jon Moxley, they just trademarked their I think it's the Switchblades. They just trademarked their tag team name. What if Jon Moxley comes to the aid? What if Jon Moxley comes to the aid of Sammy Callahan at say at Emergence? And then we get Sammy Callahan and Jon Moxley against Moose and Steve Macklin. Huh? I wouldn't have a problem with that, and I'm sure most of you wouldn't either. I'm just thinking they just trademarked their tag team name, and I'm sure they're gonna be tagging again. That's a big what if scenario. What if Jon Moxley appears and he teams up with Sammy Callahan, and they face Moose and Steve Macklin? I think that would be sweet. I think that would be sweet. But here's how the rest of the show on August 4th pans out. So we got the Derby City Street Fight between PCO and Doc Gallows. We have the Impact Digital Media Championship, Brian Myers against Black Taurus, Deanna Praza versus Rosemary, Masha Slamovich will be destroying this Giselle Shaw, and then Sammy Callahan takes on Raj Singh in a squash match, as I announced. Man, I can't wait to see Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly face to face. They're put them on a collision course, please put them on a collision course. I'm looking forward to that. I think that would be great. Last but not least, let's pull this up here. So here's so far we got Emergence coming up on August 13th, and here's how I'm sorry, August 12th, Friday, August 12th. August 13th is a Saturday. So sorry, it's August 12th is Emergence. And here are the matches that have been announced for so far. It's at Chicago's Cicero Stadium. It's going to be streaming on Impact Plus or YouTube Ultimate Insiders. As we know, the Impact Wrestling Champion, the World Champion Josh Alexander defends against Alex Shelley. Impact Wrestling Knockouts Champion Jordan Grace takes on Mia Yim. Impact Wrestling Knockouts Tag Team Championship on the line. That's Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary take on Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green. Former Ring of Honor champion. This is a AAA showcase match. Former Ring of Honor champion Bandito goes one-on-one against Ray Horace, both making their Impact Wrestling debuts, and that's going to be a phenomenal. That's going to be just fantastic. Just fantastic. Then we got Honor No More versus Bullet Club. If Honor No More loses, they must disband. If they win, they earn title shots. Obviously, they're going to win. And I'm predicting right now, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett will be the next Impact Wrestling World Tag Team title, World Tag Team Champions. I say they're going to beat the Good Brothers, and then that'll be it for the Good Brothers. I have a feeling that we're not going to see them for too much longer in Impact Wrestling. And that's it. More matches are going to be announced for Emergence, but it's shaping up to be a really good card. And I'm looking forward to seeing the other matches that are announced. I'm sure we're going to see Macklin and Macklin against Sami Callihan, but I'm still thinking, Moose and Macklin, and they ask Callahan to get to find himself a partner. John Moxley shows up, and John Moxley shows up in at Emergence, and just something that's crossing my mind right now. Something that's in my head. Something that's you never know could happen. Okay. So all right. So that's it. That's the Impact Wrestling news and notes for August 2nd, 2022. We're gonna do these probably not every day, but we're gonna do them from time to time because there's when there's a bunch of Impact Wrestling news, I'll jump on and I'll put together a news and notes. But like I said, I'm probably not gonna be doing it every day, but I'll always have Impact Wrestling updates. Just this specific format, I won't be doing every day, but I'll be doing them. I'll be doing them. Let's just say maybe 2 or 3 times a week. It depends on how much Impact Wrestling news there is. All right, so we're gonna leave it at that. Anything big breaks, I'll be back. But until then, thank you very much, everybody. Take care. Bye bye, and stay safe. Bye bye.